Can you just sum up your emotions right now after such an afternoon?
Well, I feel great for these kids, especially these seniors. They put in a lot of work. You know, you go all the way back to when we first came here. Personally, when I first came here, which was after the Super Bowl, and started the 5:30 a.m. workouts, and then all the things that came up during the off season, off the field. You know, and you just can't say enough about these kids. You know, you know, it's maybe a little redundant, but I've been around some special teams, and this is a very special football team because of the players and especially the seniors.
Bill, what was going through your mind on the final kick?
Well, you know, I'm Irish Catholic from Boston, so I said a Hail Mary, Our Father. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure that really worked, but you know, I just knew that our kids played hard, and I was just hoping that he hooked it, and that's what he did. But you know, you can't say enough about Wisconsin, and I have a lot of respect for Brett Bielema. I really like the way he plays the game and coaches the game. It's tough football. It's Big Ten football, and they did a great job defensively against us, and I thought our defense hung tough, and just can't say enough about Wisconsin, and you know, I wish them luck after the game and next week's game.
Hey, Bill, to your left. Can you talk about your defense and how it played after those first two tries in Wisconsin? Did you make any adjustments? Or?
Yeah, I thought Ted, you know, Jonesy and Jack Ham just asked me that same question, and you know, I thought Ted did a really good job along with the defensive staff of making some adjustments after that first couple series there, and our defense really held tough because we weren't doing anything offensively after the first drive, and we were sporadic all night, and you know, it's a testament to those kids on defense and that coaching staff over there. They did a nice job all night.
Bill, to be sitting here at 8-4, especially after an 0-2 start, would you have thought that this kind of finish would have been possible for this team as the season was going on?
I mean, it's hard to say, Corey. You know, I knew that this was a very frustrated football team after the Virginia game, and I knew that we had good football players. You know, I watched them play. I think I have an idea of what a good football player looks like, and I saw it on our team. And you know, you know, Ohio, we didn't play as good as we could have, and Virginia didn't play as good as we could have, and then we kind of turned it around and, you know, lost one here or there. But these kids hung tough, and you know, it's about these kids. It's about this senior class and this team.
Hey, Coach, this Penn State family has been with you every step of the way. And this Penn State family has loved the way that you have come to the forefront, and you have been here every step of the way with us. We just want you to know that we love the way that you've been here with us, and we would like you to have a statement here in front of all the media to say that we are
Penn State.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. I'm with you. Holy, thank you. I got you.
Okay, Bill, I got an easier one for you.
Oh, Bill's got you. Who passed the hat tonight? Somebody passed the hat. Joe, go ahead, man.
What are your thoughts about Sam Fickengill and that last one through after all he's been through?
That's, you know, there's a kid too, you know, I guess there would be a bunch of examples like Sam on this football team that just really worked at it and improved all year, week to week, day to day, and can't be prouder of Sam Ficken. I mean, to think of where he came from to where we are tonight, kicking the winning kick. I know none of you guys thought he was going to do that. Now we did in the walls of the Lash, but he, you know, so you can't say enough about. I'm just kidding on that. I'm sure some of you guys thought he would get better, but he, you know, I can't say enough about him and the way he rallied tonight, and he made some big kicks for us tonight.
Bill, you guys, everybody wore 42 on their helmets. Hodges wore Mounties jersey. When did you come up with the idea to honor him like that, and how did that come about?
Well, Gerald Hodges, he texted me and called me after the Indiana game, and he asked me if he could do that the night of the Indiana game, and you know, I thought that the first thing we should do is probably check with Michael, and Michael was all for it, and I thought that was a great gesture by Gerald to do that. And then on the 42 on the helmets, the seniors came to me and they wanted to do something for Mike, and that's what they decided to do. And of course, Spider had it ready to go, because back in the day, they used to have numbers on the side of their helmets for the radio announcers, and so they could see the numbers better, and so Spider had it there, and I'm not sure if Spider's been here since 1966, but I think he's been here for a while, and he was good to go on that, and so the seniors had that idea, and I thought it just shows you what Michael Mouty meant to this football team and this program.
Hey, Coach, just piggybacking on Corey's question a little bit, the difference between winning this game and the difference between going 7-5 and 8-4, especially with everything you've got ahead of you going into the offseason.
Yeah, there's a huge difference. It just sounds better. It's to think that we won 8 out of our last 10 games, and and won 8 games, and it's just a much better feeling. When you've been in a losing locker room at the end of a season, that's a horrible feeling. And when you've been in a winning locker room as your last game of a season, that's a euphoric feeling. So, I feel really good for these kids. I really do. I mean, it's the players. It's a players' game. The coaches. I mean, I didn't make many good play calls tonight. The players went out there and played their butts off, and defensively hung in there and did a great job, and we ended up winning.
Hey, Bill, two-parter. What did you see on the play to Jesse James that got him so wide open on the touchdown, and also just Jordan Hill's play in the second half? He isn't 100%, and he kind of took over the game there.
Jesse James, it's a play called special that we run quite a bit, and Matt has a great feel for that play, and Jesse's got an under on that play, and he did a nice job of weaving through some traffic there and then coming open, and there's another guy that's a tremendously improved player for us and has a really bright future, and then Jordan Hill. I mean, it's just hard to put into words what Jordan Hill's meant to this team. He just plays so hard. He's an excellent football player. He plays with great leverage, great hands. He's a phenomenal kid off the field. He's great in the locker room. There's nothing you can say bad about him. I mean, he spoke to the team. Yesterday, and along with the other seniors, and his personal story is unbelievable, and it's just wish we had him for longer.
Yeah, could you talk about the interception Fagnano had in the fourth quarter, what it means for a guy to go from walk-on to making a stop like that at the end of his career?
Yeah, I think it's just great for Jake. I really personally just enjoy watching Jake play, because Jake plays the way a safety should play. He's a tough kid. He's a tough tackler. He's a Pennsylvania kid. He grew up loving Penn State. Matter of fact, he told us the other day, he'll probably get mad at me, but when he was growing up, if Penn State, which didn't happen very often, but if Penn State lost on Saturday, he was in tears in his bedroom when he was 4, 5, 6 years old. So, it just means a lot to him, and it means a lot to us to watch him play the way he did tonight and make that interception.
When Jordan came off, did he just tweak the knee a little bit, and what did he say? There was no doubt about him going back in?
Yeah, I didn't really talk to him, David, but it just seemed like when he got up and, he kind of nodded to me, and, he said he was okay. I don't know the official whatever happened to him, but I'm sure it was just something that he tweaked the knee in.
Hey, Bill, when they reversed the call on that touchdown that was originally called a touchdown for Mosby Felder, I know you were talking with a couple of 3 officials there, I think, at a time. What were they kind of saying to you, and what were your thoughts about that?
You had to ask this question. I want to know what was said from upstairs to downstairs. I want to know what that conversation entails. I have a right to know, as the head football coach, what was that conversation about. So that's what I was asking.
Hey, Bill, on your left, you touched on a couple different individual seniors, but I'm just wondering, in general, for the senior class to go out with an emotional win like this, what this means to that senior class.
I mean, it just means a ton. It would have been terrible to come in here and not win that game after that pregame ceremony. When they put your 2012 team up there next to those great teams. I mean, those are undefeated championship teams. That means a lot. So I think there's a lot riding on this game for these players, and I'm not sure if there's many bowl games out there that are going to be played like that one. And so there's a lot there, and it's just a fantastic senior class. They came to practice every day. They communicated well with the coaching staff. I think they probably. Some of them are probably a little bit bittersweet. Maybe they wish they could play a little bit more football for Penn State. But but it's just a great bunch of guys.
Bill, over here. Did you expect Zach Swinek to have such a large role in today's game and the running game, and also for him to hit 1,000 yards, considering the leaps and bounds that he's
Did he
made?
hit 1,000? How much
He's
did
right
he
at that. He had 179.
Did he really?
Yeah.
You know, Zach has really played well for us the last, obviously, 6-7 weeks of the season, and so, you know, we go with the hot back. We got a lot of good backs, you know, we do, and there's nothing wrong with any other back. It's just, hey, look, Zach's gone in there and you rushed for 180 yards against Wisconsin's defense. You're doing something good because Wisconsin has a very stout defense. I think they're very good, well coached, and so, you know, was it part of the game plan? I think as we go into a game, we have a game plan, and then we kind of see how the game's going, and we try to figure it out as it's going. And we could have done some things better tonight, but Zach certainly ran hard.
Coach over here. Your third down defense. The first two drives Wisconsin had, they didn't even have a third down, so they weren't even put in that position. Just speak to how effective you guys were on third down defensively up until that last drive of regulation.
Yeah, I think Ted, I think that was part of the adjustments he made, you know, after the first two drives there. I know we didn't have a third down, but I think part of it was some good blitz packages on third down that some of them came home and caused pressure on their quarterback. And Ted does a nice job of mixing things up, and I think, you know, they got some third downs, but overall I think we did a nice job on third down tonight.
Bill, can you sort of outline what your approach will be now for the next couple weeks,
Sure.
you know, in terms of recruiting and priorities and with players and stuff?
Yeah, well, I'll try to have a meeting with each player on our football team. I have to work that around my recruiting schedule. So, but each player on the team will have kind of an exit interview from this year, guys that are returning next year. Just a 15-minute, you know, talk about, you know, where they are academically, what I see initially, you know, just off of all the tape that I've watched this year and what they can do to be better in the weight room and things like that. And then we're recruiting. So, and we'll be recruiting right off the bat. I think I go out Wednesday. I'm out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We have an official visit weekend early in December here, which will be a great weekend. And then there's a dead period during Christmas time. So we'll have some time to kind of gather our thoughts there where, you know, all the bowl games are being played and we'll be able to regroup a little bit. But we hit the ground running basically on Monday.
So it's been a year, a whirlwind year of, you know, a lot of highs and lows. Where are you emotionally at this point?
I feel good. I mean, I think, you know, I've been doing this for 20 years. Only one as a head coach, Neil. You know what I mean? I understand that, but I feel good. You know, I think we accomplished a lot this year, and you know, hopefully we can go into the off season and figure out what we can do better. You know, it won't be every team is different. You know, so every year is different, and so next year's team will obviously be a lot different than this year's team. You know, who knows? We might come out with a wishbone next year. Whatever suits us, you know, is what we're going to do. So, you know, it takes time to evaluate that. But as far as you know, our coaching staff and myself, we're ready to go to the next stage, which is really recruiting.